Let's take a listen.
65 is a big number. I've never been part of a team. You know, we've been part of championship teams and teams that had great success in this league, and we've never been able to win this many games. So I didn't really think about it. Really, it was about the process and putting ourselves in a position to win ball games, and it's just happened. The result has been in our favor.
Despite not having the services of the Big Three, the Heat won their 65th game of the season last night after a 96-95 win over the Cavs, just by that much. So should the Heat be a lock to win the championship, Skip Bayless?
Stephen A., more than ever, I think they should be a prohibitive favorite. I can make no case for anybody challenging this team, which is actually much better than last year's team. I won't even get into how the weight of the world has been lifted off LeBron James' shoulders. But I make my case, Stephen A., with the games in which LeBron recently has not played. Starting with the game on a recent Sunday night before we did our recent show, you remember, in Times Square in New York City. The game in which Coach Spoelstra gave Coach Popovich a little touche and said, I'm not going to play LeBron and D. Wade at San Antonio. Little reversal there. And what happened that night, Stephen A.? I sat there in horror watching the Heat's, so to speak, B team outplay my full-strength Spurs. And Norris Cole just ran rings around Tony Parker. Now, he's still fighting his ankle injury, but Norris Cole is becoming a fine little player in this league, a valuable player in that Miami rotation that they did not have last year to this extent. So then, Stephen A., I remind you, what happened last year in the finals? Remember Battier's threes in Game 2 at Oklahoma City, the turnaround game? Then we go to Game 4 in Miami. Remember Mario Chalmers, 25 points, took over the final minute of that game. Then what happened with Mike Miller in the closeout Game 5, 7 threes? On top of that, you had Ray Allen, and I mentioned Norris Cole, and Birdman. Birdman's given this team some high-flying edge that it did not have before. And even though this team wound up, or at this point in the season, is last in the NBA in rebounding, it still has a different sort of gear of toughness now with Birdman, and it still leads the league with its shooting percentage. So it overcomes its lack of muscle inside, its lack of rebounding. I like it much better than I liked it 1 year ago today.
Here's the deal. They're the prohibitive favorite. There's no way to deny it. Norris Cole and Mario Chalmers have the quote-unquote point guard position on lock. We know Dwyane Wade and what he can do. When he's healthy, he's a superstar. It's just that simple. And even though he hasn't been 100% throughout the season, there were points during the season where he reminded the world what a superstar he still is, or he is still capable of being. And oh, by the way, Skip, despite the games missed this year, he's missed, what is it, about 11 or 12 games thus far?
Yeah.
He's averaged 21 points, Skip, on 51% shooting from the field. So this is what he's doing. This is his definition of a so-so season. We know what LeBron James has done, but here's where it gets interesting. You had Shane Battier shooting threes last year. Mike Miller, we were looking to do that, didn't do so that much until the final championship clinching game. But what do? Somehow, some way, I'm thinking Mike Miller's going to retire.
I do too.
I'm going up to him, giving him a handshake and a hug and saying, wish you the best, man. Take care of that back. Because he couldn't even stand straight. Not only is he healthier this year, he looks fresh.
He does.
So you got him.
Looks good.
You got Shane Battier.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, who did you add? The greatest three-point shooter in NBA history, in Ray Allen.
Great.
So then you've got the shooters, you've got the athletes, you've got the speed, you've got perimeter shooting, you play defense. You certainly have the coaching, because we don't mention Eric Spoelstra enough. But if this ain't a bright young golden boy of a coach, I don't know who is.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks the part. By the way, his wardrobe is impressive too. The kid can dress. By the way, I'm talking about.
I'm glad you added that, because he looks great. You're right about that.
The man can dress. It is a Pat Riley protege. He can put it on. All right. So you got that going on. And the only question was your big boys. But then they added the Birdman to me, I don't see anybody knocking him off.
No.
Stephen A., you just talked about Ray Allen. Let's talk about another superstar similar to that. Steph Curry made 7 3-pointers.